project manager and also a certified coach. And aside that, she also she's into compare and many other things. Like she's just an, will I say, an excellent woman. Let me use the story of like using the life of Daniel. Basically, she's
Mhm.
spiritual and she's also good at what she does. So thank you, Bibian. And Bibian has a powerful track record of helping professionals. I currently belong to like a team that she's managing, and I see how she asks questions. Okay, like she just have this question. I just want you to be open to what she's going to share with us. She's going to help you, whether you are a beginner or you are already a professional. This session is actually for you. So hi Bibian, welcome once again. And for those joining us, please, I want you to, I know you're on YouTube, you're watching us, so I want you to like drop your location, where you're watching from, or listening from, wherever you are, just drop your location. And please, you can also share the YouTube link with your friends. They need to just be, this 2024, we are strategic about our positioning. We need to be where God want us to be, and you have to just do your job. Your CV is very important. How you
Yeah.
talk about yourself is very important. How you put yourself out there is very, very important. How you even tell people about yourself wherever you find yourself is very
Yeah.
important. And that's why Bibian is here for us to make sure that we get that job. You know that job you want to get. You know it's your mind, and I know the kind of job I want to get. So I'm looking
Right.
forward, Bibian, to a beautiful session. Thank you, and
Mhm.
thank you once again for coming to this webinar or helping us to talk about what we're talking about today. So thank you very much. So,
You're
Bibian,
welcome.
yeah, do you have anything to say before you get started your session?
Okay, I would say that I want everyone that is watching this to think about how much they're earning right now and think about how much they want to earn, and
Mm-hmm.
then think about this. Would they pay them what they want to earn? Like, for instance, maybe you're earning 500K, you're in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, you're earning 500,000 naira, and you want to begin to earn maybe 2.5 million, you want to 5x your income. The question I have as we begin is, would you pay you that 2.5 million? Or you will stutter if I were to ask you why you want to earn that money? Let's start there. Hmm.
Okay, so wherever you're watching, just ask. Do you want them to put it on the chat, or they should just like write
Just
it
hold it.
somewhere?
Just hold the thoughts.
Hold it.
Like carry that thought as we go. Just hold it as a thought. Carry
Okay.
with you as we go. Mhm.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you. So yeah, we can go ahead.
Okay, so the best way to get juice out of this conversation is to pen your questions as they come. Because even though I have slides prepared, my goal is that I finish in lesser time and then you can ask me all your questions. Because I mean, anyone can put slides together thanks to ChatGPT, Aspire and Perspire. You guys are fired up. But if you ask me your questions, there's a way that the answers to your own questions can keep you motivated for other parts of your life, even beyond your career. So as your questions begin to come, I prefer that you pen them down so you don't lose your train of thoughts. All right. We're going to start now. I would share my screen. Please let me know when you can see it so we can begin. All right. Awesome. Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yeah, I can see.
Awesome. So, I mean, practical strategies to land elite roles, breaking with confidence, CV and interview strategies for the year 2025. Moving on, let's talk about the current landscape of the job market. I see a lot of CVs. I've seen in the last 6 months, I've seen close to, if I'm not exaggerating, over 300 CVs. Even though I'm not a recruiter, but I work with a recruitment team and I see it. And I mean, I'm seeing a lot of with a strong background. It just feels like everybody's drinking from the same source on ChatGPT. I'm like, everywhere I go with a strong background, with a strong background. Oh no, can't get strong background, my people. So I'll start with the key shifts. Increased competition for elite roles. People are finally doing the we no go agree for anybody. We went through 2024, no go agree for anybody. So people are finally waking up to the idea of having elite roles. More companies are using AI for CV shortlisting. So most of the time when your CV goes into the system, it's not even a human being that sees it first. It's ATS that sees it first. That's automated tracking system that sees it first. And then there's greater emphasis on emotional intelligence and strategic thinking. For a very long time, we see that if you can do the what and the how, you're smart. Like if somebody gives you an instruction and you can follow it to the T, then you're awesome. But now we see that recruiters and employers are shifting from the what and how to the why. So they're bringing on people that are, you might not even be really like the smartest person as regards the CV, like how polished it is, but they're beginning to ask for people that can think beyond the what and the how and begin to think about the why. And then what do recruiters want right now? They want concise, tailored applications. May your CV no pass 2 pages because, baby, what are you actually doing? And then proof of outcomes and value, not just responsibilities. All that I carried file from point A to point Z. People don't want to hear things like that. They want to hear that because you were hired, for instance, as a project manager, you were able to improve coordination and delivery of projects. It went from maybe 70% to like 100. Or for somebody who is a product designer, you could say that you were able to reduce churn rates for every like the clients you guys worked on. So people want proof of value, not just responsibilities. They want confidence, not arrogance. You sit in an interview sometimes and you find out that people have audio competence. They speak a lot of English on their CV. And when it's time for interviews, they just don't know. And like I said to you in the beginning, what do you really want? People think they know what they want, and then they sit in front of a recruiter and they freeze. And there's a lot of they're stuttering because they didn't practice. All right. So what can you do for your CV in 2025? The first thing you can do is use a clear headline. Very clear. Product manager driving AI. For instance, product manager driving AI innovation in retail. It's very clear. Anybody that reads this already kind of has a feel of what your CV is going to tell them. Then, like I said earlier, quantify achievements. This one, the example here is saying 5x team output in 6 months. And then, last but not least, use power verbs. It just has a look and feel on your CV when you use power verbs. I'm thinking led, built, drove, delivered, spearheaded, oversaw, handled, coordinated, managed, power verbs. And then you don't want to do these three things. Least generic duties. That is so 2020. That's like half a decade ago. Using outdated templates or exceeding 2 pages. Even if you worked for the last 15 years, your CV should not exceed 2 pages. I will get to how you can streamline the CV for people that have like longer years of experience when I get to the questions and answers. So somebody might want to note that down. Like, how do you handle your CV if you feel like your CV should go past um, 2 pages? Okay, so when you sit in front of an interviewer, you need to talk like the role you want and not the role you have. If you're earning 500,000 and you want to earn 2.5 million naira, there's a way you sound that is different from what you're currently earning. For instance, if you are a virtual assistant and you're trying to transition into a chief of staff role, a virtual assistant is someone who's taking instructions. For a chief of staff, they're expecting that you're thinking on your feet. You're anticipating the needs of the executives. A chief of staff is someone who's the executive assistant for all the executive. Depending on the size of the company, you might have more than one chief of staff, maybe a chief of staff in tech, a chief of staff in maybe product, a chief of staff in operations, a chief of staff in operations, but for please let me know if anyone can still hear me.
Yes, yes, I can.
Hello.
Yes, I can. I can hear you.
Hi guys, it's been nice to get some feedback. Let me know if you can still hear me.
Yes, yes.
Awesome. Okay. So, case study approach, you need to highlight the problems you solved and the results you deliver. So, STAR, I don't know why the T is evading me. Situation, I can't remember what the T is saying right now. Pardon me. Then the A and R is just saying results. You need to speak. When it give you like a question, you need to answer your interview questions with that STAR. And then for feedback loops, get a coach, recruiter, or a trusted peer to review your CV. Guys, the last thing you want to do is walk in blind. Get someone to review your CV and practice in front of either a coach or a friend, because you don't even know how weird or how good you sound until someone else who is outside of your body, looks at it. Because at best you can see 180 degrees, just what's in front of you, but someone else can see your blind spots when you do feedback loops. Last but not least, energy and clarity. Your CV should feel confident and intentional. It should not just feel like something you looped together. Also, for my people using AI, from Claude to ChatGPT to Gemini, you need to make sure that you don't keep your prompt in your CV. I saw a CV recently and the prompt was there. Like, I saw the part where it say this explains or sells you as a this. The person kept the prompt. That means the attention to details of that person waned when they were sending out the CV. So this is really important. All right, before the interview, let's quickly role play. Here's Dami. Dami is interviewing for a fintech company and she has only worked in edtech, that's edutech. Dami should not expect that she'll be telling them about teachers and students during the interview. She needs to research the company and then check LinkedIn, check podcasts, check Glassdoor. Why are you checking LinkedIn and Glassdoor? It's because of reviews. You want to know the kind of company that you want to work in. You want to know, and people can be brutally honest on Glassdoor. They will be really honest. They'll tell you everything. Like, say maybe the company is trash or the company is amazing. I mean, every time I want to sit in an interview, I will go check on Glassdoor. If people are even excited to be working there, Glassdoor just, is that girl. She drops all the tea. And then know your value metrics, impact numbers, results, leadership story. A little tip is, when you're leaving a company or while you're still working there, get your colleagues to write you LinkedIn recommendations, because sometimes people read those things and they try to kind of understand the person they're trying to bring on board. And if your colleagues, like maybe present colleagues or colleagues to come, can kind of vouch for you, it just has a way of putting a plus on your person. Okay, during the interview, start with a strong elevator pitch. I get it. You're not a tech sis or you're not a tech company trying to get funding. But that's tell me about yourself. Hi, welcome, Dami, to this interview. Please tell us about yourself. That my name is Dami. I am this, I am that you be saying. That is your strong elevator pitch. You're selling yourself as a product to the people that you would be your future colleagues. Like I tried to say, your interviewers are your future colleagues. So you're selling yourself to them. And then you anchor your answers using the STAR method. I already said this earlier. Then show alignment to the company's vision. Like I was saying, if you've been working in edutech and you want to go into fintech, that's not the time to talk about um, teachers and students. That's not the time. While you might not be able to talk about the fintech side of things, I'm sure that if you do some research, there'll be something, skill sets you can bring from working from tech to fintech. For instance, something as basic as attention to details can save you a lot of hassle on the job, because the average employee and employee to be has zero attention to details. People's attention span has waned, so they find it hard to like read through their CVs and even like pay great attention. So you could sell yourself with those skill sets when you're transitioning from one industry to the other. All right. After the interview, send an easy to read email and reference specific moments from the conversation. What he says is that you were listening and you were not just answering the questions so that you can get the money. It kind of says that you're truly, truly interested in working for them. So that is such a good thing to do. All right, what do elite candidates do differently? They're not desperate, they're discerning. So, desperation is, for instance, maybe it's time to negotiate pay, and you know you want to earn 2.5 million, right? And you're currently earning 500,000. And they ask you, okay, what are you currently earning? And you say, oh, it's already 1,000, but I need to be earning 2.5 million because I'm worth that. No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to give it off desperate. You want to be subtle, soft yet punchy. So what you can do is, because I get that question all the time. I'm earning this. I want to earn more. How can I do that? What I would say to you is, tell them something as soft as, I'll prefer not to share, but the band I'm hoping to earn is between maybe 2 million to 3 million. And then maybe you guys can even end up settling for 2.8 million naira, I mean, as your band, you know. And then they rehearse, but don't sound rehearsed. I'd explain. As I'm speaking to you right now, there are questions you'll be asking me, and I would answer without using ambiguity. Like, case in point, I would say, maybe you asked me about my phone, and I say, so my phone is a big, it's 6.0 inches. Anyone can tell that that was crammed. Maybe I crammed it just before the interview. But if you ask me about my phone, I'll probably say it's handy, it helps to propel innovation. I can take notes on it. That is, it makes my life easier. So you want to say answers that, even though you've chewed on it, like ruminant animals regurgitate and all of that, just chew on it. You want to rehearse, 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 but not sound like you actually did rehearse. And then you invest in preparation, coaching, peer reviews, mock interviews. If you can't afford a coach, ask your friends to review you. Tell them to pretend, play pretend with your friends. Mock interviews you could do. There are sites on the internet right now that allow you to do mock interviews. You tell the site what role you're going for. Even ChatGPT does that for you. I know Udemy has a role play um, app right now. It's an AI powered role play app, so you can role play with any of these AI powered assistants. And then you lead the interview with stories, not statements. Like I said, use STAR. Tell them why you're the best product designer ever, because you're empathetic. You think about things from the point of view of the users and not just overly emotional about your designs. Those kind of things, help to draw people in. And you should mirror executive presence, poised, clear, and confident. You don't want to sound grouchy or, slouchy while you're on your call. It's pretty, pretty, pretty important. Okay, so I'm wrapping up now. What is your next power move? You want to book a one-on-one career mapping session with me, and shoot me an email. Okay, I am done. I've come to the end of my session. And right now, I'm just hoping that people can ask all their questions and we can delve into.
Hi, thank you, Bibi-Anne.
I
Can you hear
think
me?
I lost Cora. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah,
Bibi-Anne.
so I'm
That
hoping that people have their questions and we can just go.
okay. So if you have questions, please kindly drop it on the chat. So Bibian is ready to take your questions for free, like for free.
Yeah, for free. Hmm.
I'm looking forward to your questions.
Mm. Are you guys shy? Guys, I'm not going to charge you for these questions. I'm going to answer them for free, like right
Okay,
now.
so I think um while we're waiting for questions,
Mhm.
I'm just looking for I'm going to be asking some questions basically,
Yeah,
so
that's
so
fine.
that I know the questions might actually help somebody watching so that
Mhm.
yeah. So let me ask my questions. So
Okay.
this would be around number one, yes, the CV part and also interview. So I know that in a competitive um because the job market currently is competitive, right?
Yes, it
So in
is.
a competitive market, what will actually, so if for instance you are the recruiter or the hiring manager, and you know that many people have submitted their CV, yes, you've gone through the CV and you sent them interview invites and you're fine. So you sent invite and now you're now interviewing or you've interviewed
Mhm.
candidates. So what would actually set apart the, like, what's that distinctive thing that you will use to select your best candidates, that maybe for instance they have the same
Skill
maybe
set.
skill set, or probably all of them are first class graduates. What's actually something that you're going to look for in your preferred candidate that will actually
Okay.
set them apart from the people you're not choosing?
Right. Okay. So pretty easy. You made my work really easy by saying they have same skill set. If there's something that I'm going to be very interested in using to check on people that would come on my team, especially if I'm hiring for my personal team, maybe a downline, I'd be
Mm-hmm.
looking for cultural and emotional intelligence. you
Hmm.
know there's a way
Okay.
that the person is seated in an interview and you can tell that they are hungry. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about hunger like food, like
Yeah.
they're hungry for knowledge. And there are people that you can almost smell teachability while you're speaking to them. You can tell that this person is good, but you know that there's more, because every time I wake up, I'm like, I'm sure that there's something I know and there's something else I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm hiring and the skill sets are the entire like exact same thing, I'm looking for teachability, I'm looking for cultural intelligence, because I currently work for a multinational company. So how will this person relate across nationalities? There's that in the mix. And then I'm also looking for emotional intelligence. People will test you,
Hmm.
and somehow there'll be things, hints here and there, because I usually like to ask culture fit questions. I have technical colleagues that do the technical side of things. I want to know culture fit. I'll ask you questions. I'll ask you about conflict. I'll ask you about a time where you have a better idea and your line manager is saying something that like you guys need to move faster. Those are things that kind of help me understand if you're a team player or you're just feigning it. You can't feign it for so long. So that's that.
Wow, thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask related to CV question. So, in your experience, what's like the single big mistake? Because I've seen it like a lot of CVs.
Mhm.
Someone wants to hire you. See, some people will put they are married, they are female, like a lot of things that I feel that they are unnecessary, right? So,
Yeah.
what is like that? It can be many things. It can be just a single thing
Mhm.
that you feel that professionals should actually not put on their CV, especially those that are trying to break into tech roles.
Okay. So one of the first thing I'll say is the reason I would tell you not to put, for instance, your phone number. Do not put your phone number on there. Do not put your state of origin on your CV. Do not put it. Do not put your address in your CV. So
Hmm.
do not put your age on your CV, like age, phone number, address, state of origin. You're shooting yourself in the foot by doing that. Because if there's someone on the team that only wants to hire, maybe for instance from the southwest, and you're from the southeast, you already sold yourself short. And now they will never get to meet you. While we're saying 8 years, 8 years, there's still some companies that are screening CVs manually, like looking through CVs manually. If your number is there, I said don't put your number on there because of international roles. You don't want plus 234 to be the reason you did not get in front of a white hiring manager. So take
Hmm.
it out, except you're applying to just Nigerian roles, then you can put your
Hmm.
number on there. But if you're a global citizen, what's your plus 234 doing there?
Hmm.
Take it out. Don't what's the word, don't reject yourself in advance.
Hmm.
you know then the address, if you're going to work a global role, why do you want them to know that you're living in Akute? Why, dear? Like, take it out. And then for the age, there's some job roles that have age restrictions, and you don't want your age to be the reason that you don't get in. You need to get in. You need to get in front of your recruiter. You need to sit in front of them and say, oh, hi, here's me. I'm great. But these four things just have a way of ruining some people's chances, or then there's this other thing I see where somebody has three, four, five names on a CV, like all the
Mm-hmm.
names from the naming ceremony. Why all your names on there? Make it one name, your name, your surname, make it the same as the name on your LinkedIn. So
Hmm.
even if maybe they lost your file, because I mean, things happen in recruitment, human error, if they remembered your name, they can just Google you and find you on LinkedIn. I know candidates that had totally different names. They had Yoruba names on their CV, and then they had English names on LinkedIn because they wanted to feel among, and we couldn't just find them.
Wow.
So find a way to make it uniform across board. And please, what is Sexy Star 97 doing on your CV at gmail.com? What are you doing? What is the issue? I mean, your name, first name, surname at gmail.com, first name, surname at hotmail.com,
Mm-hmm.
first name, just make it easy to find you, because you don't even know. There are times that they're recruiting for a role and the role is closed, and then maybe somebody on that recruitment and panel maybe want to hire personally. They can find
Mm-hmm.
you easily by just, cramming your name and going to look for you. But now that you're sexy still 97 at gmail.com, we
Or
can't
sexy
find you on
time.
the internet. We
Or
can't we
people
can't
that
find
actually
you.
change, or people that actually like maybe for instance for Ashade, they now put
Yeah,
PHOLARSH.
it's so. I
Oh
mean,
my god.
it's so cringy. Even thinking about it right now is making me cringe. Don't do it. It's just it's
Stop it.
terrible for your brand. Yeah, stop it. It's terrible for your brand. Really, it is
Mm,
terrible, and you don't even know who is watching. That time you're
right.
sitting in a panel that has five people, and they've hired for that role, and then one of those five people, maybe it's a EA role, one of those five people is starting their own gig, and like, oh, it happened to me once. I was on a panel and somebody called me like 6 weeks later. She said, I had a friend on a panel and she gave me your email address. Can you send me your number?
Hmm.
That person calling me was not on that panel. She had a friend on the panel. They had hired for that role, but someone else reached out like, oh, I met an exceptional candidate, but we could not hire her. Can you? Because the project they wanted to do, they could not do it anymore because of demolitions, like some of the
Hmm.
demolitions that happened on the beach. So she was like, okay, let's go talk to this person. Imagine if my email was not my name, Bibi-Anne Ayodeji at gmail.com. How would they find me? And then people will go and end up in church and say it's village people. You are village people. That's you. Look in the mirror. That's all you, boo.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for that. So please, if your email is sexy or haughty or whatever your email is, Vivian has mentioned that you change it your first name, your last name, or
Yeah.
something that they can use to recognize you. That is not
Definitely.
like it's different here. Maybe you use your name is Ayodeji
Hmm.
Blessing, and on your email you're using another your third name or your second name
Yeah.
that is not on your
Yeah.
CV. So please let
Mhm.
it actually look the same across board,
Yeah.
right? So also she also mentioned about being teachable, very very even in relationship you have to be teachable because we're actually different individuals. So you as a person, be open to learning, be open to being teachable. You don't know it all actually. I feel some people, I've had, funny enough, there was a time that before I actually started my career in tech, I actually wanted to do HR. And I remember then the person I was learning from, I think she made me like join an interview. And when the person started talking about was it a male or a female, about herself, she was just, I could sense pride, like he was just there. I'm not an HR person, but I could sense it. And I kept it to myself.
Yeah.
She kept asking, then I asked the person. When the person left, I just saw that this person is proud. She said the same thing, like that is so obvious. Yes, you've achieved stuff.
Yeah.
But please,
Mhm.
can you, because at the end of the day, you get to the team, will try to correct you. They'll be doing, hello, I'm the professional here. You don't know it more than I do, that kind of thing. So also emotional intelligence. She mentioned that she looks out for emotional intelligence, and I believe that's same across board for other recruiters, right? So
Yeah.
I wanted you to say something. So I usually, though God has helped me, right? So I know before when I like joined an interview, for instance, they've checked my CV, they are good with my portfolio, then I was scheduled for an interview. Like I'm now saying for my past, like some of my past like, years ago and all that. So before I like jump on the call, there's this nervous. Well, I'm always like I used to be nervous, and
Mhm.
my tummy would just turn suddenly.
Mhm.
Like it's just I used to feel like it's weird, and I know there are many people. It's not like they don't know it, or maybe if they ask me a question, I will not be able to answer. But sometimes, even on that call, if they ask me a
Yeah.
question because of the nervousness, is that the right word? Anyways, because of the
Yeah.
nervousness or the way I'm feeling at that time, either I will just be stuttering or say like nonsense. So I know that um many of people that attendees of interviews or people that attend interview, they're actually brilliant, they're good at their craft, right? But
Yeah.
interviews actually make them nervous. So you as a professional, yeah, so what are your like top tips for actually
Okay.
showing confidence during
Mhm.
interviews? So I
Okay. The first thing you want to do is make sure there are no knowledge gaps.
mm,
Sometimes those the code not knowing, like full on not knowing, like empty head. Excuse my French. They don't know. Sometimes people don't know. They didn't do any research. They don't know anything about the company. Even the cover letter they wrote, they didn't read it to know about the company. So knowledge has a way of buffering cold feet for people. That's one. Two, remind yourself that these people you're going to be interviewing with are your future co-workers. If you get in, you're going to be on the other side, helping them interview other people. So in a couple of weeks, you're supposed to be future co-workers. And another thing is you need to humanize people. I had a friend that you would say, I'm sure Beyonce takes a dump, and it just helps. So humanize people. Think about maybe them eating roasted corn or drinking water. They breathe oxygen. Humanize people, do your research, remind yourself that these are your future co-workers. It depends on the company. And even though I know sometimes they bring somebody that is like your future line manager, if you're scared of your future line manager in advance, do you want to live in fear throughout? Like, let's think about it. Are you going to be in fear for, let's say, you want to work there for 6 months or a year? You're going to live in fear for a year. So think about you on the other side of this interview and knowing that this person is going to be your co-worker. And if this panel or the kind of people you want to work in and humanize them, think about them drinking Zobo, eating roasted corn, you know, humanize people, it helps. And do your research. If you know, it kind of reduces the nervousness if you've done some research. Yeah.
thank
Yeah.
you, Bibian, for that. I have more questions, but let
Yeah, it's
me
fine.
take a question from our YouTube. So
Okay.
someone says that can you advise on the best Someone says that can you advise on the best way to tailor our CV, particularly after a boot camp? So probably the person is learning or went to is learning design or front end or back end. Then the person is done. So the person doesn't have like an experience. It's just like person just currently freshly out of boot camp, just like they're
Fresh.
freshly out of
Mhm.
school. So how what's like the best advice to tailor their CV to apply for a job?
Okay. So what I would say to you is, um, no knowledge is wasted. No skill is wasted. So I spoke to someone weeks ago who has been a fashion designer all her life, and she's trying to become a product manager. And everyone who has ever been in the line of product management knows that you're thinking about customer satisfaction. And in the fashion designing industry, to avoid what I ordered versus what I got, that means customer satisfaction has to be somewhere at the back of your mind, right? It has to be somewhere there. So what I would say to you is was being
Hi, she'll be back. I think she's having experiencing poor network coverage, but she'll be back soon.
Can you hear me? I'm so sorry. I think the rain in Lagos today is just really messing with the network. So I
I
was
can
saying that
understand.
I'm just going to go backtrack a little so I can come back on track. I was saying that the person was a fashion designer that was trying to transition into product management. And because if you're on the internet, you would realize that there's a lot of what I ordered versus what I got on the internet right now. And that means that customer satisfaction is pretty important. And for everyone who's ever walked in the shoes of a product manager, you know that the goal is that customers are satisfied. So just putting that side by side can have her tailor a CV. So even though the job like the job title will still say maybe fashion designer, but the list of responsibilities under there can talk about the things that she did for the satisfaction of the clients. So when you're transitioning, you need to research your current role versus the role you want to go into side by side so you can see what is what. I hope this helps.
Sharing from our wealth of knowledge. So please feel free, don't be shy. Whatever question. Hi, Vivian. Can you hear me now? Say again. You're muted. You're muted into mute.
I can hear you now. I said I think it's because it rained in Lagos today. The network is just all over the place.
I guess I thought that because hi, Vivian. Can I was trying to like call your attention, but I wasn't seeing you, but I was seeing you on YouTube that you were there, but I wasn't seeing you. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So I was talking about you when I asked you that what are the things that will set apart those that will be chosen from an interview from others that were not chosen. You mentioned emotional intelligence, right?
Yes,
So
and
I was
culture
now
fit.
like saying something around how how should candidates now actually demonstrate emotional intelligence during their interview.
Okay. So tone of voice matters when you're speaking to people because where I'm from, the Southwest, they'll say sorry has it has like a soft sorry and a hard sorry. I'm loosely translating right now. There's a
Mm-hmm.
way I'll say sorry, sorry, and then there's another way I say sorry, and you can just tell which is which. Like there's a way I'm speaking to you right now. There's a way we speak to our loved ones. There's this way that we speak to our lovers. Even our men, our odogos, there's a way they speak to us when they want something. They're
Mm-hmm.
softer, right? Tone of voice matters when you're speaking during an interview. Your inflections matter, like your gesticulations, those things matter. People are watching body language. And
Mm-hmm.
then when they ask you a question that you do not know, it's okay to ask. For instance, if they say, what do you know about Kuth? And you can say, so do you have a synonym or another word? So they know instantly. That's hoping and praying that your interviewer is also emotionally intelligent because some are not
Mm-hmm.
patient. So if somebody says, so how Kuth are you? Like what's your Kuth? Or just using the word, throw the word Kuth at you,
Mm-hmm.
you can say, do you have a synonym? So it's to tell an emotionally intelligent interviewer that you don't know what that word is, but you're not throwing in the towel and trying to back down. You're trying to ask if they give you the synonym, maybe to simplify things for you, you know. So there has to be some form of hunger when you're talking to people. People need to know that they're hungry for more, but you can't seem desperate. So you need to find the thin line between I'm confident, I'm hungry, I'm teachable. It takes practice. You practice, practice, practice. Because people want to, your future line manager doesn't want to hire an Agbero.
Mm-hmm.
Because men also shine brighter than them. I know human ego comes in and we're hiring smarter people now. People like we're having smarter people than their line managers. But you cannot come to an interview and give your line manager the impression that I want your job on day one, even though you do want the person's job. But you don't want to say that on day one, you know. So it's important.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So my
Yeah.
last question before we call it a day,
Mm.
what advice would you give to someone who feel stuck in their job search? They've tried to like they've applied to several companies, or probably even for maybe beginners that they just finished boot camp, or probably they've not like they just want to have their first experience and all that, or professionals who want to change their job and they've been doing a lot of job search and they're getting rejections, or they're not even getting anything. Nobody's saying anything to them. What's that like
Okay.
advice you give to such people?
So I have a CV test I do with my clients. I'll say that if you send out 10 CVs and you don't get one interview, you have a terrible CV.
Mm.
If you sit in 10 interviews and you don't get a call back, even if it's that you are fighting because of money, say money no complete, you know, you should always use the 10-10 rule. 10 CVs, one interview. 10 interviews, one call back. That has to happen. Like check it. So if you don't get any call back from sending out 10 applications, then you need to look at your CV. If you sit in 10 interviews and nobody's calling you back, don't worry, it's not village people. You need to get coaching and you need to rehearse. If you can't afford coaching, you need to rehearse with your people. I remember that I was on a call, interview call, because I sit in interview calls a lot lately and I see people's mistakes. And the only issue this guy, they delayed his hiring factor. I know it's a
Wow.
petty thing, but the woman Like the person that was trying to hire the guy was like, ah, this H factor is very strong.
Wow.
Eventually, they hired the guy because he's competent.
Mm-hmm.
But people, humans have very petty reasons. Like you be like, is it H factor that will do the job? Can you hire this guy already? So you can improve your diction, take elocution classes. If it's like you want to go global, you have to sound. You can't be Balogun of Iwo if you are going global. You have to sound really good. Check out your CV, then volunteer. I know people pending MBA graduation that don't understand how Google Docs work.
Mm-hmm.
There's some soft skills that you will not get in the university. Most of us did not learn to do use Microsoft PowerPoint until it was time to do defense, either for IT or so things like that. Virtual assistant has become very viral lately, and what they are doing is so simple. You don't even need to enroll in a virtual assistant academy to get that done. So acquire skills, practice, practice, practice with your friends, role play with your friends, get coaching if you can afford it, and last but not least, tailor like rework your CV. One of the prompts I use for CVs, I will tell you for free on this call, is I will go to ChatGPT and say, "Hi ChatGPT, let's role play." And ChatGPT will say, "Okay, what do you want me to be?" I'll say, "You're a 20-year recruiter with a stellar record. I need you to look at this CV and tell me what is wrong with it. Would you hire me for this role?" And then it will point out all the problems on that CV, literally point it out and tell you why you won't get hired.
Wow.
And that's you using ChatGPT. But you'll be using it to toast babe. Like, can you use it to point out the errors of your CV?
Oh my God.
Use it to it's so ChatGPT will do like line by line for you. So here it could even be your professional summary that is off. Like the professional summary does not say that you're eloquent, maybe it doesn't say that you're competent. So it's to do like a line by line. It's like a surgery, like a CV surgery. Chat will do it for you, and then you can tell what is what. And then when that is done, the mock-ups you're doing with your friends are going to help you brush up to the standard chat would give you.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have like an amazing CV and then you get to interviews and flop. You now have audio competence.
Hmm.
You're only competent on paper, you're not confident in real life.
Yeah.
So that could help definitely.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's
You're
been an
welcome.
incredible session. Really, I've learned one or two things, and I believe that everybody watching as well has
Hmm.
learned one or two things. So thank you. Where can we, if people want to connect with you, where
Okay.
can they connect with you?
I would say it's easier to get my attention on LinkedIn. If you're trying to say hi on LinkedIn, say hi and say where.
Mm.
Don't just send a request and move
Another
on.
thing,
I
I
don't know
just okay.
you. Like, it's not pride. I don't know you from anywhere. I don't know you from Adam. So if I were you, if I send a connection request, if I send a connection request and I met you at the conference, hi, my name is Bibi-Anne. I met you at the Kid Tech Fest last week and I thought to connect with you. It's easy for me to kind of try to scan your face,
Mm-hmm.
that helps too. So it's not a case of everyone, yeah, people are proud on his LinkedIn. People are not proud, people are busy. So when you send a LinkedIn request, say where. Anybody sending from here now will say, "Hi, my name is this. Hi, Bibian, my name is this. And I joined the CV strategy, or I stumbled on the YouTube video and now I'm sending a request." So you can say hi and put where. So I can trace it and somehow it gives me an expectation of what you want. Can help me prepare my mind,
Mm-hmm.
for what you want. So I won't just add you to, a spam call or something. Then another thing you can do is shoot me an email. I read my emails faster than WhatsApp and phone calls. If you want now response, send me an email. VA to the BBN at gmail.com. You'll find me easily via email. VA to the BBN. There's no hyphen in that. So VATOTHEBIBIANNE at gmail.com. I read my emails faster than a phone call. I could look at my WhatsApp and messages are there for the last week and I've not read them. Sorry, guys. Life is just happening so fast. So, yeah.
Oh, thank you. I really want to say you thank you for
Yo.
actually sharing such practical insights you've shared today on actually breaking into your next big role, because everybody wants that big role. They want to like transition from where they are to the next level. Nobody wants to be static. So thank you
Yeah.
for sharing such insight. So everyone watching, you might want to like go back and watch this video from the beginning And if you want to keep rewatching, but make sure that everything she has said, you write it down and practice them, because she actually shared practicals. So you want to go back, the use of ChatGPT, the use of your friends. Your friends are not just for gisting and gisting and gisting.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
please
Mm-hmm.
make use of everything she has shared on this call. So thank you everyone for joining. And don't forget to actually connect with Bibi-Anne. You can reach out to her, ask her questions on LinkedIn or her email. And also don't forget to stay connected to Designer Fola,
Yeah.
YouTube. Check me on Instagram. Same name on X. The only place the name is different is just LinkedIn. Fola
Yeah.
Shade and Biola Depite. So thank you very much.
Welcome.
Have a great weekend. So see you next.
I will. You
Yeah,
too.
bye, and thank you so much.
Yeah.